There we go.
Zoom.
Zoom. Everything is how it should be. Hey guys, welcome in. And welcome into our latest follower and new chatter. Please do not self-promo in our chat. That is against the rules. So the message has been deleted. But yeah, in regards to your message, Nick, where we've been, breaking. I think
Breaking. Emotionally and physically breaking. Why not both?
Why
Yeah.
not both?
Why not both?
Yes, we are back and we're ready to scour the internet for silliness and seriousness and just have a good old chat. We got our mugs at the ready. So
No, I did just finish my tea.
Mine's still going. So I'm being conservative. Yeah. In fact, I'm just gonna rep the merch. Let's go. Self promo. No shame.
We need to get you the t-shirt with like your face on it as well.
Yes, I do need to get that at some point. At the moment, just Docs, but that is fine.
You know, you got the stupid floppy hat.
Mhm.
You got
And
the
now
mug.
I've got the stupid floppy personality as well.
Yeah, sorry we haven't been around lately, guys. We've been between a lot of us. We've been busy and just mental health stuff as well. It's been a bit of a nightmare, but we are back.
Back with a vengeance.
So, do we start off with slagging off Twitter stuff?
I think we should.
I feel like that's really what people come here for, is us bullying Twitter.
Have we still got our soundboard? I can't even remember. Oh, here we go. It's still there. No, there we go.
Tonight on Mock the Tweet, we have
I did my job.
GCSE's National Security Advisor, the UN, and whatever random tweet we see on the homepage.
They feel like they're all quite well linked, actually. They're all sort of, apart from GCSEs, unless it's a politics GCSE, they're all kind of linked, aren't they?
I mean, yeah, true. Wow.
What?
That's a
Robo Baby.
Robo Baby. So we have right here the Chinese scientists are making it so we don't need women anymore, apparently.
The music's a bit loud, apparently.
I can fix that. There we go.
I can fix him. I can fix Robo Baby.
We can fix Robo Baby.
Oh my god.
Much better. Hey Mel, how you doing?
There's something baby metal there.
Baby mental.
Baby mental.
Which, another graffiti board for baby metal. We like
These
them.
ones are for us, so I think someone snuck onto our account and has followed Baby Metal. or Baby Metal are following us, quite possibly.
Possibly. We are just that good.
Oh, you can tell this is because you're following me. We got Orkney uncovered now. Like, it's me and my obsession with Shetland and Orkney.
We do.
We're gonna get archaeology related stuff now.
And then we got Meg's stuff with not being able to breathe because of asthma.
Well, actually, no, it's other people not being able to breathe.
Well, Meg's changed. Normally it's you not being able to breathe. And then obviously there's Levi. I should be careful, but scrolling down that actually.
Oh yeah. This is gonna get we're gonna get
very not safe for work stuff. Right, let's go to the GCSE stuff, shall we?
Yeah.
So for the Americans, GCSEs are basically your SATs that you get at the end of high school to decide whether you can get into college or not.
Yeah.
That is your GCSEs in the UK. Now, arguably, GCSEs are actually much harder than American SATs. A lot of like British people that I know that moved to America, like when they were still in high school, well, say still in high school. They were like 16 when they moved over there. So they'd done their GCSEs, but then moved over and had to carry on high school till they were 18. Because, that's America.
Yeah.
And they done their SATs then in America. And they said the SATs were far easier. So.
Yeah. It's not surprising, really.
But yeah, apparently this year we have the lowest GCSE results on record.
It's because I'm not doing them.
I mean, yeah, true.
No,
Well, a lot of people are saying it's because the ones doing them now, they're the ones that started school during COVID.
Yeah, that's going to make it harder. Yeah. I don't miss doing GCSEs. That was one of the most, in fact, I still remember it, one of the most stressful years of my life doing GCSEs. It still haunts my dreams. I definitely prepped for some grey hairs even at that age.
Have I got news for you? Failed their maths GCSE.
There you go. You see, it doesn't matter if you fail your maths GCSE. You can laugh at yourself on TV.
GCSE results day. Fears grow that Brits aren't picking up the basics as less students pass English, while over half, 41.7%, fail maths.
That's not half. You're at like 9% off there. I'm sorry.
I'm guessing the fact it's have I got news for you that's a joke. I'm assuming that's a joke.
I'd hope so.
That's gotta be.
And then obviously you got all the proud mums putting up their kids' GCSE results.
It's gotta be an engineer.
Yeah.
I had a post from a family member do that.
Which, to be honest, that would really annoy me, having like my GCSE results put up.
Because... Yeah, that's a bit weird. Because this is the thing, I never had that. Because I'm fucking old. I never had so much sort of social media. Well, social media wasn't really a thing when I did my GCSEs. So you didn't really have all of this. And I still feel a little bit cringy when mums show their baby photos on Facebook. And now it's just everything's on the internet. It's insane to me.
Yeah. Right.
And this is the problem as well, because it's on the internet as well. This is going to be all these people who are like they're acing their GCSEs now, and their mums are really proud. They're now going to be basically haunted by this for the rest of their life. So if they have a really bad year or something like that, it's like you were the chosen one, you were the child prodigy, and now you're a washout. It's like, life goes up and down. Like if you're, and that, that's the thing. If you've done really well at your GCSEs, absolutely be proud of it. It's difficult, but if you failed your GCSEs, don't worry, because your time will come. Like a lot of people I know it's the cliche thing, but a lot of people I know absolutely flunked their GCSEs, and then they're now on like 6-figure salaries. So don't worry about it.
That's the thing. I was academically gifted until I left school. I got 100% on all of my SATs tests going up to year 9. Like every test I'd done at school, I'd 100% it, because I literally wouldn't forgive myself for getting 99%.
Yeah.
So I really pushed myself. One of the problems was because I'd done it once and got 100%, it then became expected of me.
Yeah, and the pressure's on.
Like my family especially would be like, if they asked me how I thought my SATs went, and I was like, I don't know, I think I probably got like 80-90%. Well, why is it that low? It's like 80% is fucking high.
Yeah, well, especially when you get to degree level, like you're 80%, that's a first. Like in fact, that is bang on a first. And any less than that is a good grade. And like 80%, you just so few people get that.
Yeah. But like, I feel like, especially because being autistic, which that's the thing that's happened since our last podcast, I got diagnosed with autism.
So before this, basically what we're saying is before you got diagnosed, you weren't autistic, but you are now.
Yeah.
It just happened over. You grew the autism overnight.
COVID gave me autism.
That's true. It's true. Watch out for those vaccines. You might get autism.
But yeah,
someone on the internet told me that. It's true.
I definitely feel like, because like being an autistic kid as well, certain things I took on really well, other things obviously I really struggled with. And I feel like my family, because I was really shit with social stuff, kind of put a lot more pressure on me to be like good at the academics.
Yeah, that's common.
Right, so GCSEs, yeah, we're all up to date on that, really. Though apparently, because Britons are refusing to speak another language, that's damaging the country's reputation. We've always refused to speak another language. Have you never seen a British person in Spain?
I mean, look, put it this way: we're so opposed to learning other languages that we'd actually rather sort of invest stupid amounts of money into conquering and colonizing them, just so that we don't have to speak that language.
There's a reason we took over half the world.
It's just like, I don't understand your language, we'll invade you.
And the parts we didn't take over, we just speak to them a bit louder, throwing in one of their phrases every now and then, like, por favor, chips.
I mean, this is why nobody likes us, but it's true. It is true.
Like, literally, I learned Greek Cypriot when I went to Cyprus every year. Because, I was going every year. Occasionally, I'd stay there with my uncle. I kind of
you're surrounded by the language. I think this is the problem with Brits generally, is that most of us, we still kind of do it in a very soft way. We'll still colonize. So, for example, like when we go to Spain, we'll just go to an area of Spain where there's already a large British population from people who've moved over there. So there's so many of my friends that go to Spain, and they don't meet a single Spanish person, like other than the odd waiter who's speaking English, because that's how you get by, because everyone's speaking English. So you just sort of go over there. And the problem is, now that it's become, with sort of America and the internet, it's become the worldwide language. It's become like a default. If you got two people who speak different languages to each other and neither of them are English, they'll speak English to each other because that's a language that both of them are likely to have in common. So it just makes us even lazier. We just got so little incentive to learn another language unless we're literally surrounded by it, and it's rare that happens now.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I used to go to Cyprus every year as a kid. Then when I turned 16, I started going out there for like 6 weeks at a time. And like one year I went out for the full 6 months that I could. And I literally, oh crap, Discord went burp.
Wanting to learn a foreign language. I think that's true, Nick. I think because so many other people I know, because they got to learn English or another language as well as their mother tongue from so early, once you've kind of grown up bilingual, it makes it very, very easy to add to that. Whereas if you're just grown up surrounded by one language, there's just no incentive to try and take anything else on, because it's harder. Like, learning a language when you're older is a lot more difficult. It's like anything. When you're younger, your brain's like a sponge. You just pick up words and language very quickly. Hello, Dave.
Definitely. There we go. I have no idea what happened then. Discord just went bye-bye. Hashtag Discord, fix your shit.
Discord has just had enough of it's racist against autistic people. That's what it is. You found out you're autistic.
But yeah, like, living in Cyprus for a long time, I learnt the language conversationally. Reading it was still a problem for me. Like, speaking it outside of a conversation was hard for me. Like, if an English person went to me, oh, how do I say this? I'd be like, no idea. Sorry, mate. But then, like, one of the lads that worked for my uncle, he didn't realize, like, I couldn't speak Greek. So he just straight up started waffling away in Greek to me.
Mm.
And my brain just auto-translated it for me. And I was like, oh, okay. I know what he means. Like, I could get the gist of it, and I knew words enough that I could speak back to him, and we could have conversations. Now, like, I've not practiced it in, God, 16 years-ish. The only couple of words I know is ondaxi, which is okay, and yamas, which is cheers.
I mean, they're useful. I think that's one thing that I think surprised me when my first real sort of overseas experience was when I did something, I think it's still a thing now, called interrailing. So me and a couple of mates went over to Europe, and we basically traveled around Europe by train. So we had 3 weeks to go around Europe, and we had that discounted rail fares across most of it, because most of Europe has nationalized railways. So all of the major countries in Europe, and the EU in particular, had sort of signed up to the scheme where you basically get discounted rail tickets if you're doing this interrailing thing. And it was just really sort of eye-opening, because there were so many times where I'd end up in countries where I'd be speaking to people where not only was English not their first language, but they spoke very, very little English because they were surrounded by people who spoke the same language as them. And it's amazing how much you can get by if you just know a couple of words of their language, if they know a couple of words of your language. And just as human beings, if we want to understand another person, there's so much that we kind of do with gestures and pointing and just like having references. If you got something on a ticket and you got like a place name, you can point to that. And I think there's one thing that always amazes me is that language is a barrier, but it's not as much a barrier as you think. Like, if human beings want to understand each other, we have so many other sort of visual and sort of audible cues, and even just things like how we say something. Like, if for example, there's a word that someone says in a different language that you don't understand, if they're trying to make you understand it, they'll kind of say it in such a way that you kind of connect it with a word that you know, and it's really interesting. And also, I think it helps a little bit, especially in Europe, because English is an Indo-European language, and so are all other European languages. I'll just check I'm right in saying that. No, they are all Indo-European languages. There's no kind of leftovers from pre that period, but they're all related. They're all in the same language family. So there'll always be words in other languages that you kind of sound similar to, like words, especially if it's like a language that English stems from. So something like German or Norwegian or even sort of French or Latin. You'll hear words that you recognize because a lot of our words come from those languages. No intention of traveling to different countries. That's fair enough. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we're very fortunate that we're in a country that, despite all its flaws, is quite a good place to live in, really.
It is a very good place to live in. Like, as many flaws as there are in our country, our government, we may hate the government right now. 4 years after they're elected, 5 years after they're elected, whatever it is, we get to go, right, fuck off.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can do about it. It literally, if like Keir Starmer turned around at the next general election and went, I'm not having an election, by law, the military can remove him from power.
Yeah, yes, 100%. I mean, the king can. And in fact, that's one area where the king probably would intervene. I mean, the Queen, it's sort of an unofficial thing where the Queen's way of ruling, and this is arguably part of why we still have a monarchy, is she was very non-interventionalist. So if the government had sort of agreed on something, a law to pass, she would just sign it off, because she has to, with the major bill, she has to sign it off. So she kind of just almost developed this kind of thing of like, right, I'm just going to say yes to whatever the government say, because that's supposedly the will of the people, and I don't want to create some sort of feud that ultimately would then suggest that I've got too much power, and then Republicans then step in and say, yeah, we're getting rid of the monarchy. So generally, Charles has just carried on the same thing as far as I can tell. But there could be an argument if a prime minister or a party tries to declare some kind of autocracy on the British people. I think there would be enough of a mandate for the monarchy to essentially side with the people, because at the end of the day, the monarchy has generally been on the trajectory lately of they want to still exist because, you know, they have a fairly, as much as they have lots of obligations, they have a pretty cushy life. Like, they're paid for by the taxpayers. They got all these big estates. They got lots of big buildings, things like that. So generally, if there's a situation where the government are entirely at odds with the people, they're actually more likely to side with the people. So that's something that could happen as well, where essentially the monarchy just says no because the government are exercising too much power, and then, you know, they could essentially just abolish parliament and then bring it back with a new government or something like that. So there's all kinds of crazy things that could happen in that situation. But checks and balances, that's one thing we do have in abundance. I mean, so does America, but
America, unfortunately, the checks and balances don't really work because, for instance, the party in power can put people into positions that are supposed to do the checks and balances, like we've seen with Trump stacking the Supreme Court, with obviously Congress being stacked with Republicans. When that happens, they're not going to go against Trump because he's their fucking head honcho Satsuma in charge.
Well, that's one of the stronger arguments for keeping the House of Lords, of course. I mean, there's also, I think, another thing as well is that, I mean, it's often argued that we have a two-party system over here, but that's lessening, and we've definitely got a lot less of a two-party system than America, where you really do have Republicans and Democrats. Like, you know, we do have Labour and the Conservatives, but the Lib Dems aren't exactly small, especially in local elections. They do very, very well. We've got Reform on the rise, who are taking over a lot of seats at the moment. The Greens have always been there and thereabout. Now, bloody Corbyn, who used to be leader of the Labour Party, he set up a new party, and he's always been very popular with socialists in this country. So
honestly, I think he's got a good chance of actually getting some seats in the next election.
Oh God, yeah, I think he will. Like, especially places like parts of North London, South London. I think a lot of northern cities. I think he's going to do quite well in places like sort of Huddersfield and Bradford.
Traditional
I think he's
Labour places. I think
working
is
class, like
thrive.
Labour parties. Yeah, I think he'll do very well, and also, like, he's always had that appeal. It's one thing I'll always say for Corbyn, and I think I said this before, is although politically he's very different to me, he's always had an element of integrity, which is quite rare amongst politicians generally. You know, he's very much got his beliefs. He's always stuck by them. He's one of those kind of reliable people that you know what he stands for. You know, he's not going to just suddenly shift to some other perspective because he believes in what he says. So it's kind of like that's always going to have an appeal regardless of where you come from on the spectrum, I think.
Well, it's like he said it's a popular view as well. He'd stepped down from being leader of Labour, and he did.
Yeah, like, and he did.
The same day they announced it, he went, "Okay, yep, bye."
100%. Yeah,
he was like, "Look, if we don't get in now, when essentially it should have been an easy win for the Labour Party," he was like, "If we don't get in now, then it's because of the older generation not liking me."
Yeah, and
that's exactly what happened. Was like the majority of the votes against Labour were elderly people.
I've heard a lot of my more socialist friends, and I think they've got a good point on this. Is that I think a lot of the people on the sort of the right of the Labour Party and in the Tory Party in particular that have a lot of power and influence have a real fear of someone like Corbyn getting into power for a variety of reasons. A lot of them quite justified. But they've also got a lot of contacts in the media. They've got a lot of power and influence, and unfortunately, regardless of where you are in the world, a lot of people are easily led by what they see on TV, and what their friends are saying and all the rest of it. We're quite fallible creatures, so
Yeah.
if you got your favorite newspaper, say the Daily Mail or the Telegraph or something, saying that he's going to destroy the country, he's going to crash the economy, etc., 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 you're going to probably believe that. And I think that was arguably one of the stronger reasons why he lost. I mean, I'll also say, for me personally, the manifesto spoke for itself. Like, I would never have voted for that. But I can also see how some people would. If that's one thing I'll always say as well. For regardless of where you are in the world, if you're in a democratic country, read the manifestos. Like, obviously, you got to take it with a pinch of salt, because they're writing what they think you want to hear. But it also, if you kind of get a good read of what each party's going for, or is trying to say to you, and then you read between the lines a little bit, you get a pretty good idea of what sort of government you're going to get. Because at the end of the day, any promises in the manifesto are something that they've got to follow, and if they don't, then they failed their job and they've let you down. And that's something that critics and the people of the country can pick up on and go, hey, you failed to produce this, we're not voting for you next time. So
it's not just that. If they actually lie in their manifesto, there are steps in where the Speaker of the House can actually get involved and say, okay, you made this promise, you need to make good on this promise within X amount of time. If they don't make good on the promise within a reasonable amount of time, like, obviously it has to be a reasonable amount. So, like Keir Starmer, he's straight up said he is going to cut spending by making things more productive, rather than by just making cuts to things.
Yes.
Like, he said there will be cuts to things, but everything is going to have to start being more productive. So, like, pensions, like, especially like pension credit. Pension credit is actually a great thing. If you have a really low pension, you're entitled to pension credits, which brings it up to essentially an amount that you can live on. If you get pension credits, you're entitled to the warm home discount and stuff like that, like the old people get.
Yeah.
Where previously every old person, no matter whether they were a billionaire or whether they were living on a can of beans a week, would get that warm house discount. Yeah. Labour came in and actually went, hang on, why is most of the House of Lords getting a warm home discount? All of them are rich. None of them should be getting that. So they done, okay, you have to be getting pension credits to qualify for the warm home discount. Yeah. Now, I don't think they went about it the right way. I think instead it should have just been means tested as you apply for it every year rather than it just being sent to you, and you apply for it and you put what your monthly pension is if you get pension credit, and if your pension is X amount a month, then you qualify. If it's above that, you don't qualify.
I'd probably counter that a little bit in that does create quite a lot of bureaucracy, which is quite expensive in itself. Because I was just thinking about it as well. Like, for example, you gave the example of the House of Lords, and obviously that a lot of the people there are rich, but a lot of them are property rich. So, I mean, this is a good argument. You could argue it the sort of the more socialist way, and well, if they got that much property, then why don't they sell it off and get a council house or whatever? But something like their sort of homes would cost quite a lot to heat, etc., etc. A lot of them might not have cash money, but they got the land essentially. So they'd then have to sort of then sell that off to actually sort of make ends meet. So they'd then be applying for these means tested things, and then I guess it goes both ways, because you'd be creating jobs It's sort of bureaucratic jobs to then deal with this extra paperwork. But then obviously those jobs would be paid for by the taxpayer because they'd be public services.
Yeah.
Um,
Which then
of
actually
course,
means they pay less tax.
which would mean that they pay less tax. That's also true. But then obviously then it's more paperwork. It's more sort of time. I guess for me personally, I see a lot of that stuff, and this is kind of incredibly hypocritical because I'm aware that my industry is essentially a red tape industry, but I think I see a lot of those and think they're not really productive. They're just essentially money floating around in a well for the sake of it, and all of that's being subsidized by the taxpayer. So my thoughts on that are generally negative, but it's complicated. There's swings and roundabouts. It's like anything. There's no explicit just completely positive thing, and when all of this gets then washed into the media will then dumb it down and go, this is bad or this is good, and it's
and that's the problem. Like, that's the thing, most of the people in House of the Lord, as you say, they're property rich, but they also have really big pensions. And this thing, normally because they invested in the right stuff and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So now
true.
Their pensions are coming through, and you're seeing them driving around in brand new cars every year because their pension is high enough that they can.
Yeah.
So obviously there is the big argument of, well, if you can afford to go out and buy, the latest BMW M whatever, why can't you afford to heat your home? Because obviously they are the ones that argue for people like me where I can't work at the moment. And they will turn around and be like, well, if you can't afford to heat your home, then get rid of your internet connection.
Yeah.
That is get rid of your car. Like, I literally got told, I phoned OVO the other day because they tried putting my heating bill up to 170 to make sure I'm 2 months ahead. And I turned around to them and went, you can right off, because I don't by law have to be 2 months ahead. I just have to be smack bang on what it is. And in fact, at the end of the contract, I have to be what that is. So right now, I could not pay a penny as long as it comes at the end of my contract. I've paid everything off. And they tried arguing it, and I was like, no. And the person literally said, well, if you're struggling, you could always get rid of your car or something.
Yeah, you see, this is the problem. I think a lot of those people, they do live in a slightly different world, and that they don't seem to understand that it's a vicious cycle. Like, when you can't, because I realize I'm in a very, very privileged position in that I've kind of got to the point now where I can sort of self-sustain. So I can create wealth by having things to sell off to then create the wealth. So I can kind of go, okay, I don't need this, or theoretically, like maybe a few years down the line when I paid off a bit of my mortgage, if the electricity bills got too much, I could whack some solar panels on the house, and then I'm charging that back to the grid. That's their money I've got to then reinvest. But if you can't get on that ladder, then you're basically reliant on the state. That's the problem. And then, it then becomes this vicious cycle where you're just constantly, you're a bit of a slave then, because like they'll decide to cut things 1 minute and then reintroduce it in a different way. But to get that thing, you got to go through these hoops to get there, and you might not get it when you filled in all the forms, even if you've done all that. And it is really tough.
I ended up
not prime example.
So for those that know, or don't know rather, I applied for PIP, which in the UK is Personal Independence Payments. So that is for people with a disability. I actually have a couple of disabilities. So I've got osteoarthritis in my knees, in my shoulders, in my back, which I didn't even think it was possible to get that in your spine, but it is.
His legs, his back.
Everything is fucking cracked. Obviously, I've got autism. I also have clinical depression. So clinical depression is different from depression.
Yeah,
I will 100%. Never get better from my depression. Like, no, I could win the lottery tomorrow. I would still be in a position where my mental health tells me to take the quick way to the lobby.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's just a fact of life. I am going to be medicated for the rest of my life to try and control that. But it's due to brain damage. The chemicals in my brain will never balance properly without medication.
Yeah.
And on medication, there's lots of side effects. Like, I've now got a terrible memory. I now have, I've got severe anxiety now. I get scared to go outside.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a 6-foot Viking motherfucker. I should not be scared to go outside in the slightest. Yeah.
And that's a complicated one as well, because that will be a combination of the clinical depression and also environmental factors as well. Like, I don't know, did you have this during COVID at all? I can't remember what you're doing during COVID, but I definitely like, I've got social anxiety anyway, but it was aggravated enormously during that period. And I just remember having one time where I remember just going outside and I was scared to meet anyone, not because I was worried about getting COVID, just because I wasn't sure how I was going to communicate with another human being. And it was a genuine, like, proper irrational, like, fuck, what happens if I see someone? Yeah.
So I worked in customer service all throughout COVID. I took 3 days off during COVID. Like, all the time we were in lockdown, I was working from home. I took 3 days off because I got COVID from going to a supermarket. And it was quite funny. Well, one of them was actually from my COVID jab that I had to take a day off. The other two were from me having COVID, because I got COVID very early on, going shopping. Some old lady actually was refusing to put a mask on and was getting right up behind me in a queue. I ended up farting in her face. It was hilarious. That's also a good thing to do, by the way. If someone is invading your personal space, fart.
Yeah, it works. It clears them out pretty quick.
It's technically not assault.
Yeah. Well, that's that's because you could argue as well that it was unintentional farting as well.
Yeah, I mean,
tactical fart.
I did grunt that thing out, and I was scared it was going to come with a prize, but it worked. She backed the fuck off. But
can we clean up the turd on aisle 3, please?
Yeah, I ended up like getting COVID. I had to take 2 days off work. After that, that triggered my anxiety with going out even more, because like I got better. Like, I got well enough after 2 days that I could work, but I wasn't well enough that I was working from my bed.
Yeah.
I literally moved my computer to my bed and everything. And working from my bed. It took me about 2 weeks to get well enough that I could go out.
Yeah.
Once I was able to go out again, I was then having panic attacks, thinking, well, I've got to go to Asda because I've got no food in, blah, blah. Other supermarkets are available.
Please tell me, BBC.
You know, I ended up having a panic attack at going out because I was scared of getting COVID again. Then I ended up getting my COVID jab, and that was quite funny because that triggered my insomnia. Literally, I had the jab, could not sleep for 2 days. I literally did not sleep at all. I was still working, I was fine. And then couldn't sleep, and it got to like 8 in the morning. I was due to start work at 11.
Yeah.
But I'd normally log on at like 6 o'clock and start clearing emails anyway.
Yeah.
But at 8 o'clock, I suddenly come over super tired, so I phoned my manager. Now, what I thought I said was, hey, Sarah, it's Dave. Look, I'm really sorry to do this, but I need to call in sick. This COVID jab's kicking my ass, and I'm just about to fall asleep. Apparently, what I actually said was, because I got a text asking if I was drunk.
Oh, you see, I'm so innocent. I heard that and I thought, oh, that pretty much guarantees, you know, that says that there's something wrong with him. Like, yeah, he's definitely not working when he's like that. But yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, she was like, she texted me and she was like, yeah, go to sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like an hour later, were you drunk? Because they'd listened back to the phone call.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And like literally, she sent me the recording, and I was just like, "That's not what I said at all."
You've doctored that.
So
That's
that was
hilarious.
my 3
Well,
days off during the whole of COVID.
You were doing phones back then as well, weren't you? So that
Yeah.
probably would have come across quite badly if you sounded drunk. So
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
but I was fully just like, but I then went to sleep at like 8:30 in the morning, slept through until 6 o'clock the next morning, woke up, started working instantly.
Yeah.
That was that kind of thing. Then I didn't have a day off until they let us out so I could have the kids again. And then it was like, right, I will have
sweatshop
my
stuff.
time off. Yeah, I worked 7 days a week because I was like, well, I might as well earn the money. And what I didn't realize was how high my electric bill was going to go, because I was with a company called SSE at the time. They've now been taken over by OVO.
Yeah.
But they done a really scummy thing during COVID of tripling their prices.
Because they know everyone's going to be at home using their power.
Yeah. My bill went from, like, when we were normally in the office, my bill a month was £62.
Right.
Bearing in mind we had storage heaters as well.
Yeah,
and
that's
an
not
electric
bad,
oven
actually.
and like electric water heater.
Obviously
So,
pre-COVID, but that's not bad, yeah.
Like 62, really not bad. Like, considering, like, obviously my friend that lives in the same block, he was paying like 100 and odd. Then during COVID, obviously my use went up anyway because, well, I was stuck at home all the time. So usage went up anyway, but then I was working as well, which meant I had to have extra setup. So I had to have like my phone, I had to have a printer and all this stuff because it was weird. I had to print stuff, put it in a Ziploc. It would then, I had to post it to work, where it then went in quarantine for 48 hours before it could be opened.
Yeah,
because of COVID.
Oh my god, yeah. I almost forget just the amount of extra steps we had to do in so many areas of life during COVID.
But my bill went up to £220 a month for my electric bill.
Oh,
yeah.
That's like council tax levels.
My council tax on a 2-bedroom, 6th floor flat went up to £180 a month.
Jesus, that's more than I pay now in a semi-detached. I mean, obviously I'm on single person thing, but
that was with the single person discount as well.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then on top of that, my rent went up, and my rent on that place was £450 a month.
Yeah. That's not too bad, to be fair.
It's council rent, so
yeah, that's not bad.
But when everything went on, like my car insurance went up during COVID. Like it renewed at this, like during COVID, and it went up really high. And I tried getting quotes everywhere, and everyone was like giving out high quotes. So my insurance on my little blue Peugeot, which the previous year had been £80 a month.
Yeah.
They charged me £130 a month for, was the cheapest quote I could get.
You see, for me, I'd say that's almost criminal, because if you think about it, during COVID, the risk of accidents is decreased enormously because there's no one else on the road.
And most I had it locked in a garage.
Yeah, and most of the people that are on the road are like emergency services and professional drivers. Like, they're the ones that aren't having accidents. So you're not even surrounded by a load of people having accidents. It's insane to me.
Yeah, it was so expensive, like living where I was, to the point it put me in. I was already in debt anyway from just stuff when I was younger. But it put me in a lot more debt. By the time I moved out in 2022, I think it was. By the time I moved out of that place and into Andrews, my electric bill, they decided I owed them £2,000.
Mhm.
I'd got behind on my rent by 800. My council tax, I literally told them to go swing. They actually threatened to take me to court, and I went, okay, go on then. I'd like to see you try.
Yeah.
And that actually
they
got
do get
written
really
off.
cheeky with that.
It got written off, actually. It was quite funny. But then HMRC turned around and went, oh, well, you owe us a load of money for all the overtime you done during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So they then took out of the money that I got then, I was on about 1,400 a month. And my take home after HMRC decided to take their extra cut was about 1,200.
Yeah.
And then because of all my bills and everything, like car insurance and whatnot, I was breaking even, like, on a good day. If I'd done overtime, I'd break even. If I'd just done my standard hours, I'd have to find like 30, 40 quid from somewhere. Like, COVID was a nightmare in that regard.
Yeah, it
And
just made
I think
everything a lot more complex.
That triggered my anxiety so bad as well with finances. Like, I get so anxious with finances now. I have a spreadsheet for my finances.
It's a good idea, you know. It
And,
is like, yeah.
like, going to the shop. So I know I've got X amount left over after all my bills and after the shopping. I will get worried going to the shop to buy like milk throughout the week because I'm like, can I afford this? Because I'm so scared of getting back into debt just to survive.
Well, to be honest, same. I think anyone who's sort of been close to the breadline or been on the breadline themselves is in a similar sort of boat. Like God, Ray will tell you this actually. I had it the other day where we're booking hotels for a show we're going to, and I could physically afford it, but there's just part of me that's so scared of getting into debt that I'm just like, well, I can't do that because what if this bill comes in, or what if this bill's slightly more than I'm expecting? Like I find it very, very difficult to spend money, and I think like there's certain things that we as humans, like when we kind of in our formative stages, we kind of go through things and it just really makes it very difficult to do certain things like spend money.
Oh, 100%. It sounds bad, but I am so terrified of spending money on myself. Because I'm like, well, if I spend money on myself, then, and like something bad happens, then that's my own fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, you know.
Weirdly, I don't have that with other people. I'm very good at spending money on other people, and then I'll go, oh, fuck, what have I done? Yeah.
Literally, I will spend money on someone else because I'm like, well, fuck it. Like, you know, they're my friend. I want to make them happy.
That's it. You get the satisfaction of seeing them happy, don't you? And you think, oh, that was a worthy investment. Whereas when it's you, it's like, I think, especially again, if you've gone through what we've gone through, you don't get that warm feeling from doing it because you instantly, there's that instant regret of, I didn't need to spend that, did I? Like, well, what does that actually get me? You know? Whereas if it's someone else, you can see them happy and it's like, okay, that's a positive. You get a warm feeling, get the endorphin boost from doing it.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, for myself, I do not get any like endorphins basically from spending money. I'm just like, I guess I've got to spend this money. Why is our Discord link not working?
I don't know. I was trying it earlier. I think
that's what I've just been trying to fix while we're talking.
I know.
That's why I
do we? I can't remember. Do we use Nightbot for that? Because I know sometimes that just signs itself out.
No, we use Cloudbot. Oh, there we go. It's deactivated itself because we haven't streamed for a while. So. There we go. It should
Also,
work.
also just looking at the stream, I just realized you got a very moody, like grayscale kind of vibe going on. Oh no, it's just your camera. It looks for some
Yeah.
reason it looks like you're in grayscale. It's like, you know, one of those sort of motivational videos where it's just like there's just Dave with a
Normally-
cigarette just going.
Normally there's a light there as well, so that's normally where the extra brightness comes from.
I think it's
But-
also because I'm wearing a bright yellow shirt, so it's the
Yeah.
contrast.
But because of basically when I done all the work on my car,
Mm.
when I done that, I had to use the light so that I could see.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
I took
Well, that's
that
more
light because
important.
I
Yeah.
could plug it into my thing. And like this week, for instance, we're going down because I've got to change the insulation in Meg's nan's attic,
Right. Yeah.
which is paying me to do that, which is how I'm getting my new VR.
Yeah.
So cool, and that's like my treat to myself is the VR, and that's only because I'm
Yeah.
kind of making money from it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Also,
justify it.
we're kind of going back to the conversation we were having earlier about sort of heating and sort of allowances and stuff like that. If you got the ability to, or you have, you know, people who can do that sort of thing, that will save her money. Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
you got decent insulation, you're spending so a lot less in, you know, heating and electricity and all that kind of stuff. So it is there are ways out. It's just obviously difficult when you're kind of on the red line.
Honestly, insulating is the biggest thing you can do if you have a high heating bill. It's something I'm going to be doing with this place because this place, it's weird. Like, obviously we have the walls I can't insulate, which is like the walls going to the main building. Those
Yeah.
I can't do anything with. But the internal walls, they're not insulated at all. And the problem there is they soak in all the heat and it just, there's the big void in the middle that heats up and then all that heat fucks off.
Goes up and it goes up because you're on the downstairs. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Yep.
my plan is basically I can, right here where this ladder is, I can actually pull that out and I'm going to walk through that wall, fill it
Like a
with
ghost.
insulation, job done. And then the same,
Yeah.
our kitchen wall is this thick.
Basically, what's
So-
going to happen is we're going to have loads of Dave-shaped holes through the house.
Yeah. I'm
Just
just
where
going
he's
to fill
literally
that
walked
wall
straight
with
through a wall.
expanding foam. Like,
So I just had this mental image of you
Just-
just walking straight through walls, like, let's go.
yeah. But I'm just going to expanding foam like them because expanding, if you are in a position where you can't afford to get proper insulation,
Mhm.
go and buy expanding foam.
Yeah,
If
because you'll
you've
get
got-
trapped in the foam. Yeah.
If you have plasterboard walls, get an expanding foam that takes about 10-15 minutes to actually expand out fully. Drill a hole about that big, about an eyeball size hole in the wall. An expanding foam, just aim it through the hole like that. That will fill up the whole cavity then, and you will save about 10% on your electric bill or gas bill, whichever you heat. It's the same as Noir actually taught me this trick of if you've got radiators, put a bit of foil behind them with the shiny side out. Because
Oh, yeah.
then
Yeah,
the
that
heat
makes
gets
sense. Yeah.
bounced out rather than soaking into the wall behind it.
Yeah,
There's
makes
so
sense.
many little tricks like that that you can do. That it's not going to cost a fortune. Like doing the expanding foam is going to cost me about 50 quid.
Yeah,
Like
but in the long run, it's a worthy investment.
that's going to save me within the first year. Like if I do that before winter kicks in, just over winter, that's going to save me probably 100 quid.
Winter is coming. Expand the
Winter
foam.
is coming. Expand the foam. Indeed. Right. What was our next Twitter thing? Let's-
Yeah, we got a bit sidetracked there. So we did GCSEs.
Next one is national security. So this is an
There we go.
American one. So Americans, be
go.
prepared. We might bash on your country a little bit.
Just a little.
We might nationalize your security.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Oh,
his tash.
so-
Did you see that guy's tash? That was an epic tash.
Epic
In the video.
mustache. Oh, yeah. So from what I've seen here, I've not looked into this any amount at all. So the FBI raided the former National Security Advisor John Bolton's home and office over classified documents. Anti-Trump warmongering John Bolton was one of the direct signatories of several PNAC letters leading to 9/11, including the notable one in 1998 urging President Bill Clinton to remove Saddam Hussein from power in Iraq. Bolton's involvement in the PNAC directly reflects his warmongering foreign policies, championing the overthrow of world leaders in various countries for his masters in the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex, who organized PNAC to set up the 9/11 attacks as a premise to invade, destroy, and conquer the Middle East, got even richer, while the fake news corporations they also own speaks nothing of these issues and tax President Trump trying to broker world peace. Well, clearly you are a MAGA cultist, Bridget Fertig.
Going to say we're going to need a little bit more of that foil that Noir's got behind our radiators, I think.
Yeah, Noir, can you send us some foil to put on? Cause, in fact, bear with me.
There's a bear with you. Meg, kill the bear. There's a bear over there.
I can't kill shit.
Throw Levi at the bear.
No.
Levi can do it. Throw Levi at the bear.
I protect the baby Levi. He's too young for this.
Oh, hang on. We're back. Did you fight off the bear, Dave? Yeah. Inventor of the tinfoil hat. Yeah, there we go. We're ready. We're ready for MAGA cultism. Let's go.
There we go. I'm ready for MAGAs. The Wi-Fi's can't get in my brain now.
We're annexing Greenland. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Let's take over Greenland.
It's not warmongering though, because we're buying it out.
Yeah. We're buying it out whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
Remember that. Because Trump's all about peace, remember, guys?
Someone clip that. Just Dave in a tinfoil hat saying Trump's all about peace.
But yeah, let's debunk this quickly. So, urging President Bill Clinton to remove Saddam Hussein from power in Iraq. Funny enough, it was America that put him in power. People forget that. It was urged that he be removed because he was buying weapons and stuff from Russians. He was also supplying enemies of America with weapons. So, buying from an enemy of America, supplying enemies of America with weapons. He was also known to be making, well, there was a suspicion of weapons of mass destruction, which Saddam Hussein himself actually perpetuated. Let's not forget that Saddam actually did, on record, say that they had weapons that could destroy America. So, I can understand why a politician might be a bit like, we should get rid of that cunt. We put him there, but we should get rid of him. So, there. Now, as for set up 9/11 attacks, terrorist organizations claimed that they done it. Like, let's not forget that Al-Qaeda themselves actually released a video stating that they were the ones responsible for it. So,
yeah, that's true.
Again, you're like a scarecrow having a wank. You're just clutching at straws. Like, you don't hate the media enough. Yeah, I do. I fucking hate all media because no matter what side of the fence you sit on, if you are right-wing, guess what? The media is never going to be right-wing enough for you. If you're left-wing, the media is never going to be left-wing enough for you.
Basically, if it doesn't agree with you, it's wrong.
Yeah. But typically, the media does tend to stay a bit more central, especially like within our country anyway.
Yeah.
Within America, it depends.
I'd say in the UK, it's generally a little bit sort of, I guess, authoritarian, right? Just purely because most of the people with the most sort of influence are sort of landed gentry, sort of old boys,
Yeah.
that are Etonians.
But,
But
you
again,
know.
you get your like your Guardian and fucking and papers like that have the sort of a slightly different spin on it. But
Also, I'm just saying, looking at that person's profile picture, they're about 12. Oh, for fuck's sake.
are they 12?
No, it's worth.
Oh, it's a
worse.
mum of
Look at-
4.
Homeschool. Mum of
Oh,
4.
God.
Truth junkie. MAGA conservative. Formerly V Darkness Falls.
I think this is my issue with a lot of, and not all MAGA peeps, is just a lot of them just seem to be like part of the reason why the MAGA movement started, and I do kind of sympathize with this a little bit, was it was a reaction to sort of overly politically correct, very highly left-wing movements in the US.
Yes.
But what they're essentially doing is becoming the other side of the coin. There's so many MAGA types that they're just a stereotype of themselves. Like there's no individual thought. There's no kind of like, and this essentially was what they were reacting to. They're saying, "Oh, everyone's doing the same thing. You're not allowed to have an opinion unless it's this opinion, etc., etc." But they're just doing the same thing, but on the other side. So like, I think this is the thing that bothers me is like, I don't mind it if people are thinking for themselves a little bit. But when it's just this kind of mindless cultist behavior, it does irk me somewhat.
Also, John Bolton was actually a national security advisor for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, his last term that Trump was in, he actually appointed this guy as his national security advisor.
But the minute he no longer supports, it's the way it's always been with Trump. If they start showing any signs of not mindlessly supporting them, they suddenly become the enemy. You know.
This video that's up now, or GIF rather, actually comes in very handy to show. This is all the documents that the FBI retrieved from Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Not
from Trump or John Bolton.
From Trump, not from John Bolton.
Okay, right.
That's actually like those boxes, like those ones. They hold about 5 reams of paper. A ream of paper is normally about 1,000 pages. So at least 5,000 pages per box. Because if it's not in the thing as well, it can hold more if it's not in the packaging. So realistically, one of them boxes could probably take about 10 reams of paper if it's not packaged. So look at how many documents Trump had.
Many documents.
That's another room that had documents and brown boxes full of documents. More documents.
A lot of papers to sign. A lot of things to sign.
You're telling me that he forgot he had them? Why were they not like where they're supposed to be anyway? Why did he take them? Again, this is a man that literally called for an insurrection.
Yeah, it's just the problem I do find with. I mean, we get this in sort of all countries, but I feel like America in particular, they're not very good at keeping their secrets secret, if that makes sense. Like, it's so partisan that all you need is for one person to say one thing and then do another, and then suddenly a load of their sort of official secrets are just found in a box somewhere. You know, it just seems a little bit.
And then you have Trump saying he knew nothing about all of the documents and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
while wearing a hat saying he's right about everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he also said he knew nothing about the documents that were found in his own home. So
yeah,
look at that mustache.
They were put there. They've got bad things to say about me. They're very, very bad people. I do love his tash, though. That is an epic tash.
I love that they've glittered it there.
He wants to cuddle. What's this?
I have no idea, but
he's got to have been in a 70s porno. Come on. Look at that tash.
This as well. Like they're saying about John Bolton. When John Bolton finally gets arrested, the left and the media will say that since John Bolton was Trump's national security advisor, Trump should be arrested instead of Bolton. Blah, blah. No, they should both be arrested. If they have both committed the same crime, they should both be arrested. Like,
I think it's also, again, I might be just applying the sort of British model to this, but there's the responsibility aspect. There's the kind of element of like, if you're someone's employer, then you bear a certain responsibility for something that someone did under your watch, essentially. That's quite a good argument as well. I mean, I guess the counter to that is that everyone should have agency and that essentially you're responsible for your own actions. But yeah, it's not a fascism. Oh my God, that is just the world generally at the moment. I feel like it's just sort of everyone else is the fascist, but I'm not.
But yeah, so typical America, rather than deal with any of the issues Trump has caused, instead he's told the FBI to go after this John Bolton so that people forget that the tariffs are coming in 7 days.
It's a distraction. It's a good distraction. I mean, that's how politics works, is you find a quick scapegoat or another story to spin. Sometimes, quite commonly as well, if there isn't someone else to point at, you actually point at something that you've done wrong that's a lesser problem, so that people are focusing on that rather than the bigger picture. And because you're the one pointing it out, they think, oh, they can't be covering anything else up.
Right, our next story is the UN. That's our next thing.
More politics. Let's go.
More politics.
I'm going to guess this is probably about Gaza. It's got there.
Yeah, so a famine is now confirmed in Gaza.
I mean, I'm actually surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be honest. But
I personally don't have a strong opinion either way on the Gaza, like the Palestine-Israel conflict. I remember I was driving when I heard the news about the attack on Israel. And I remember driving and going, well, shit, this is going to be a war.
Yeah. Well, you called it.
Now, I was very surprised that we didn't get involved instantly, considering they had some of the hostages were obviously British citizens. Then obviously they're US citizens. I was very surprised that obviously Britain, fucking America, and the other European countries who had hostages there didn't get involved. That was a shock to me. But what doesn't shock me is Israel's response. Israel is a country that is known for jailing people that don't commit to their opinion. So if you don't, essentially, if you're not of the same opinion as the state, you can get in trouble in Israel. It's simply, it's the laws they have. Whether those laws are right or not is not for me to judge. I do not live there. I do not get to say. But
I think
there was no way Israel was ever going to just let it pass. But at the same time, we ourselves, our country designated Hamas as a terrorist organization years ago. So you kind of have to expect it to happen if you designate something as a terrorist organization. You have to sort of expect them to do shitty things, especially if they're like, well, we tried it the right way and you called us terrorists, so now we're just going to do it our own way.
Yeah, there's a little element of like, if you condemn people, I mean, again, it's obviously in no way comparable, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the Trump thing. It's like the part of the reason why the Trump movement is so successful at the moment is it's a reaction to just people constantly being called, racists, when they're not. And then they almost become, they have their own villain arc. They then become what people are calling them because they just go, well, fuck it. You're not going to accept me even if I try and do the right thing. So I'm going to become the very thing that you want me to be because it's convenient for you. And I think there is an element to that. It's like they've expended all other options. So the more extreme sort of fed up people, because all it takes, is, and well, this is quite a major thing, but like, say, for example, you've had a situation where your family's killed in front of you. It's not going to make you a moderate person. That's just the reality.
No.
If you've had a traumatic experience and there's someone clearly to blame for it, and that goes for both sides of the Israel-Palestine conflict, because I'm sure it's happened on the other side as well, where some sort of Hamas fighters have killed an Israeli family, and that the son of that family who survived then joins the IDF and has a real hatred of Palestinians. And this is thousands of years in the making. It's it's just this constant thing, and it's not going to just de-escalate, because the more that happens, the more that then happens. And it's very easy, I think, for us on the outside to look at it and go, I wish they'd just calm down because this is hurting them. Whereas if you're actually involved in that and you've seen kind of things happen to the people around you, you're going to have a very strong opinion of the other side. And it's such a complicated and emotional thing to
look at the
sort of discuss,
Crusades.
really. Yeah.
The Crusades went on for a very long time. And that was, it started off as Christendom must reclaim fucking whatever, So off we tried to do that. We claimed Jerusalem, I think it was.
Yes.
Then
and Antioch.
Yeah. Then obviously the indigenous peoples went, well, fuck you. One, we have our own religion. Two, that's our land. They fought back.
Yeah.
They killed people because we'd killed their people. And back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to this day. There are
and again,
still people fighting over that shit to this day.
And again, much like the Hamas and Israel thing, there's so many layers to it as well, because part of the reason why the First Crusade happened was that region became increasingly Islamified as Islam spread across sort of North Africa, Eastern Europe, and into sort of Sicily. And that happened quite, as far as the Abrahamic religions, that happened quite late on. Christianity, we're talking sort of 0 AD onwards. Islam kind of, the roots were there quite early on, because again, it was an Abrahamic religion, but it spread very much around the sort of 4th, 5th century. So they were still kind of reeling a little bit from that, and then obviously the Pope then sees this as an invading force, so they then invade it, and then of course the people who were then kicked out of their homes who were Muslim were then like, well, this foreign religion's come in. They were and themselves were totally, and it just goes back and back and back. And this is part of the problem we've got with the whole sort of Israel Hamas thing, is that both sides of them can claim to be, ancient. And it's like, well, at what point do you say where's the start? It's like, where you have sort of people over here saying, we're the true English, and you got all these people coming in and all the rest of it. It's like, well, us as English people are invaders of Britain. If you go back far enough, you go back to sort of the Saxon invasions and Hengist and Horsa, we were mercenaries that came over and were basically being paid by the indigenous British tribes to fight their fights for them. And it's like, well, at what point do you just kind of have a starting point and say these people were here before those people? And I think when it comes to sort of like the Israel-Palestine thing, it's like they've both got just as much right to be there as the other. It's just so difficult for us on the outside to say, okay, right, you both got a right to it. Can you just live harmoniously? I mean, arguably one of the reasons why the Brits pulled out was they were trying to find a resolution to that, and they couldn't, because the hatred and the animosity and just the completely different worldview was so well entrenched even when we pulled out, that it was just, we couldn't resolve it.
Yeah, we genuinely couldn't, and that's the thing, like, for us as a country as well. We kind of have a reputation. So, like, as a country, we kind of just had to go, okay, we need to step back now.
Yeah, because this is bigger than, it was bigger than, that puts it into perspective. It was bigger than the British Empire.
Yeah.
Like, the British Empire could not deal with the Israel-Palestine conflict. It is so deep and so complicated and just.
I obviously, like, you know, the British Empire could have just went, fuck it, we'll take it all, as is the way of the British Empire. But even the British Empire went, yeah, we probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because we saw what would happen. Obviously, we've seen it in other countries that we have left. Like, you know, we're
and actually
lucky.
kind of you use the Crusades as a case study, but I think that's quite interesting as well, because that's obviously in the same area, and that was part of the reason why things are the way they're now. Like a lot of the roots of what's going on now literally goes back to the Crusades. You know, it's and obviously if we're talking on a religious level, it's predominantly, I'll say predominantly, because it's more now more of a national identity thing than a religious identity thing. But essentially you've got Jews and Muslims, but that hostility and that conflict goes back again to sort of pre-Crusade times and during the Crusades, and the Crusades did destabilize it a little bit, because one thing I will say is that one of the main I think it would have been the Second Crusade, where Saladin was in power in Jerusalem. He was an Egyptian sultan, I believe. One thing he's quite well liked for is he kind of temporarily created a sort of a society in Jerusalem where sort of Christians, Coptic Christians, Jews and Muslims could kind of live fairly harmoniously. And then, of course, the bloody Second Crusade came over and just destabilized all of that. So it's just constantly moving. Anyway, little history lesson for you. But.
Yeah, but obviously that's why I don't have strong opinions either way, because I personally don't feel it's my place to have an opinion. Like,
and that's healthy, I think. I think it's especially with the age of internet.
There.
Yeah.
Like, I don't live there. I don't know anyone that lives there. I've never known anyone that's lived there. Like, you know, I live in a predominantly Muslim area, and it's quite funny. You'd think that it would be all pro-Palestine and whatnot around here. Most of them, if you mention it, go, nothing to do with me, I don't live there.
Yeah.
Like, all of the older people in this area go, they just need to sort it out between themselves.
And it is difficult. I mean, you could sort of say on the flip side, like, there's a big power difference, certainly nowadays, where, you know, obviously Israel's got a lot more muscle, and arguably a lot of that is due to years of sort of investment from Western powers. So I think I would say probably, if I were to sort of not pick a side, but if I was to sort of choose between the two, I'm a Brit, so I'm a natural sucker for the underdog. So I see the sort of the plight of the Palestinian people, and a little bit of the Battle of Britain starts coming out, and I can kind of see myself in that role. But at the end of the day, like you say, I think it is very healthy in this day and age to kind of detach yourself a little bit and go, yeah, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of things going on, but I am not informed enough to pick a side on this. And I think so many people are so easy to quick to jump on, kind of, because we all get fired up by things we see, and it's so easy to kind of go, this is right or this is right, when you don't have the all of the information. And you have to realize as well that what we're seeing is it's dangerous. There's so much propaganda out there, and there's so many factors in things like this, and especially with something as complicated as that you do have to be very careful what information you're consuming and how you're consuming it. I personally
don't typically talk to people about strong political stuff like Israel, Palestine, stuff like that, because I normally find the people that bring that up already have an opinion.
Yes.
They are. It's the same as people that will bring up like trans rights and stuff like that. They already have an opinion.
They already know what they know,
where they stand. They don't want their mind changed. They want to change your mind if you don't agree with them. So, like, for me personally, I am very pro-trans. However, there are certain things where I'm like, actually, this is a good thing with, like, certain rules for trans people. For instance, combat sports. I am sorry if this offends anyone, but a trans person should not be in a combat sport with a cis person. Now, whether that's a trans man competing with biological men or a trans woman competing with biological women, I do not believe they should. I believe there should be trans divisions. I say that from someone with experience in combat sports.
That makes sense because that's something you've got experience in and you understand.
I have fought men, I've fought women. Now, women of a higher skill level than me, they will kick my ass here, there, and everywhere. Unless I can physically dominate them.
Well, that's also the thing, because you got to look at it, because it's not. I think a lot of people take it as, oh, it's just sexist to have that opinion, but I think a lot of the time it's more complex than that. Because, say for example, in combat sports, as a general rule, if you're going on stereotypes, women tend to have stronger legs and thighs, and men tend to have stronger upper body strength. So they're completely different skill sets. You know, like I wouldn't. It's certainly, especially like an MMA fighter, like. Fuck, just getting crushed by the thighs of like an MMA fighter, like female fighter, and then on the flip side, you know, like
what a hell of a way to die.
I mean, yeah. Actually, you know what? That's all right, isn't it? But and then on, you know, with men, like obviously getting sort of like anything that can involve like strength from the shoulders, getting thrown around in that respect, or getting a punch thrown at you is going to potentially be more dangerous.
Men's
so
bones
you do
are
have to
also denser.
Am I a man then as I'm stronger upper?
Yes.
No, you are pursuit. Yeah, I'm not gonna, I'm not fighting more, but no, you're dedicated is what you are.
You're dedicated.
It is dedicated, yeah.
But yeah, like I have fought against women that are more skilled than me at mixed martial arts in sparring. And every single time when it's come to submissions and stuff like that, grappling, 100% of the time, if they manage to slip and get into a position where they can get that submission, they will win.
Yeah.
However, the amount of times a woman has got me in like a guillotine, so I've just stood up and slammed back down.
Yeah.
And
that's
they're out.
Classic.
They then are done. Even one, there was even a girl, same weight class as me that I used to train with. So you'd think would be a bit more like balanced.
Even, yeah.
But like, honestly, she was same weight as me. I still picked her up and slammed her down as if she was a bloke. I literally was so scared that I'd killed her because I heard her back go cronk as it hit the mat, and she was out cold instantly.
Yeah.
Women's bones are not designed for those sorts of impacts. Now, we men have more explosive power. As Noir's just said, we also typically, our muscles are denser normally. Now, yes, a woman can take testosterone and stuff like that. So a trans man,
this is the point you were making. This is the point you were making. Yeah,
they will eventually build up muscle. However, it still will not be as dense as a biological man's. Their bones won't be as dense. There have been autopsies done that show this. There are autopsies of trans people, and unfortunately their skeletons still show their biological assigned at sex genders. So there is a biological thing. And I personally, if I was still competing in MMA and I came up against a trans man, I wouldn't want to fight them because I'm scared of losing. Hell, if they beat me, they deserve that fucking win. Anyone that beats me deserves a win. I'd more be scared that, one, if I won, then all the press is going to be, well, Dave beat a trans person. I don't win there, do I, really?
No,
That's
no,
gonna
exactly.
look bad in the press. And two, just in the fight alone, I would be pulling my punches because I would be scared of injuring the person in a way that they could not recover from. I mean, I'm quite an aggressive fighter anyway. There's pictures of me when I done my charity event.
Yeah, valid fear to have, not. I agree. I mean, this is partly why I couldn't do that, I think, because you do need to. This is why fighters are trained. As I think a lot of the time people think people as fighters are trained just to be good at fighting, but they need to. They're trained, you know, to do it well, to do it in such a way that people are safe. And you know, it's like martial arts. It's like part of the skill is being able to subdue someone in such a way that you're not going to kill them. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If, like, when I done the charity event, I was against someone the same weight as me, another bloke, you know, I still pulled my punches. I still didn't, like, when I went for a guillotine choke, I still didn't choke as if I was against someone at the same actual skill level as me, because he wouldn't have known how to respond to that. And if I'd have started choking him like I would choke someone that I'd been sparring with for 4 or 5 years, chances are he'd have tried to twist out of that and he'd have broke his neck and died.
Yeah.
And then I have someone's death on my conscience. I don't want that. And I don't ever want any fighter to have someone's death or disability on their conscience as someone does, because we don't fight because we enjoy violence. It's a common misconception with fighters. We don't fight because we like violence. We fight to show that we are good at violence. You know, like my mindset going into fights, like back when I actually wanted to become a professional and stuff, was I am going to make this person quit MMA.
It's about control, and was spot on with that.
Yeah.
Self-control and discipline,
I never went into a fight thinking, I'm going to destroy this person, I'm going to kill him, No. I wanted to make them quit MMA. Because in my head, if I beat someone and they quit MMA, that's a true victory, because they have decided, okay, I cannot, I can't compete at this level, I'm done. Where if I go into a fight, I punch someone and I, say hit them in the back of the head, rabbit punch, and they end up in a fucking wheelchair the rest of their life. I haven't won the fight. I used a dirty tactic and caused someone not only their career, but their general life as well. And it worked because I'm a better fighter. It's the same as when you see the fighters where, their eye is swollen out like this and, jaws. And you're like, why didn't the ref call that fight earlier? Because you see them sometimes where they're having to be held up by 2 people, yet the ref has let it go all the way to the end of the rounds. And it was very clear who the victor was halfway through round 2. Yet the ref hasn't stopped it. And it's like, well, no, the ref should have stopped
at that point.
Yeah.
So
to me, again, trans people should have their own divisions. I would love to see trans women fighting. That would be honestly a delight, seeing different divisions of trans women fighting. Seeing trans men fighting would be.
Because there's got to be a
amazing.
lot that would love to, there's a lot of trans people out there. There's got to be a lot that they want to get into it, and it's just the politics of it is kind of getting in the way of them actually following their dreams and doing what they want to do.
Typically, it's quite funny. Trans men are typically more flexible than a cis man. So
makes sense.
A trans men's division, you'd see a lot more grappling, a lot more submissions. Oh, it would be amazing. In a trans women's division, they'd have a lot more strength typically. So you would see better boxing, you'd see better kicking, you'd see better, just generally everything would be at a different level than the women's. It wouldn't replace the women's, because the women MMA fighters, you know, at the UFC level, yeah, no, thank you. I would run in the opposite direction rather than face one of them ladies.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't run for shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, having the trans divisions in and of themselves would be amazing. And I think it is something that every combat sport should work towards.
Yeah, just opens doors.
Yeah. Like, hell, you can either, if you really wanted to get political, you could go with gender neutral divisions. I personally wouldn't like that, because then you are opening up to someone going, well, I'm gender neutral.
Yeah, well, I agree, because I think when it comes to physical things like sports and wrestling and fighting and things like that, that needs to be more associated with biology and body mass, I think, rather than gender identity. I think you know, there's things where that has its place, like arts and areas like that, and sort of academia, you could argue.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to physical things, you do need to be a little bit more realistic and practical. I think with you can't be emotion driven when people's lives are at risk, I think.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Noir's just said, the problem is trans men and women want equal rights and opportunities as biological men. Well, that's why having trans divisions would actually give them the opportunities, because at the moment they don't have them opportunities.
Yeah.
There are no trans divisions. If a trans man is found to be a trans man, they cannot compete. Same with trans
and that
women.
is a problem, I think. Yeah.
Like, and yes, there is the argument of, well, if you separate them, it makes them feel excluded. But that's where we have to take emotion out of it. Because I would damn well rather upset someone than kill someone.
Yeah. I think that's where
At
it stems
what
down
point
to.
do we go, well, people's feelings are more important than their safety? Like, look what happened with that boxer where everyone was like, oh, it's a man, and turned out they're actually intersex.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, they're a man, blah, blah, blah. You had half the internet saying, well, even if they are trans, they're a trans woman, it's fine. You had the other half being like, eh.
Yeah, you hear about this with prisons. It's I've gone not masculine or feminine enough. You can be refused to go into the prison you identify as. Yeah. It's been just heavily politicized when it's something that's just essentially at the end of the day it's biological.
It is something that politics in and of itself, yes, needs to step in and give trans people equal rights completely. I agree. However, this is where different things matter. So, for instance, combat sports, just have trans divisions. It's going to save lives. It's going to save drama.
It's going to make it fairer as well.
Yeah, it's going to make it a lot fairer. Plus, then there's more fights for me to watch. I count this as a win. That's an extra 2 fights per event that I get to watch. Like, that's a win.
And also,
it's
I think
in more money.
Again, you know, I'm not a trans person myself, but I feel like if you're in a situation where you feel sort of alienated and underrepresented, like you're gonna, if something like that comes along, like yeah, you could argue it's exclusionary and things like that, but you've then got essentially a sport which exists that reflects you as a person. You've got role models you can look at and go, I want to be like them. You know, that's been one of the big, I think, plus points and big celebrations recently for, like, for example, like the England female football team doing so well. It's like suddenly all these girls are kind of going, growing up and going like, yeah, you know, I'm a tomboy. I've never been into playing with my Barbies, but now I've actually got like female figures that I can look up to and go, I want to be like her.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing with trans people. Like if you have these divisions and you get really successful trans athletes rising to the top and dominating and just being real sort of role models, then all these young impressionable trans people can then look at them and go, I want to be like them. I've got something to aspire to, you know. And I think right now that's what a lot of them need, is because there's so few examples just because of the way society
and unfortunately,
is.
it's the bad examples that get pushed in the media.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Especially with with Twitch. More young people consume their news via Twitch and YouTube than they do any other medium.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So if your view of how a woman is supposed to be is purely off of how women act on Twitch, then you're going to think that a woman's just there supposed to be bouncing your boobs or whatever, because I'm sorry, that is what the most popular women are doing. Like, there's exceptions
Twitch,
to the rule, like Iron Mouse, of course. Mousy is a phenomenal person. Like, but, you know, Noir, how often would you say when you used to stream, shout out to Noir, by the way, everyone, because Noir's the best, but how often would you say when you used to stream, you would get the guys that were just there being like, right, I'm going to play the Babadook thing just so you shake your tits? Like, exactly, all the time. Now, if me or Rob done that, where we had a thing where we dance, like do a little jig, I could guarantee we're not going to get the same amount of views, because
I don't know, a lot of people want to see my tits.
A lot of people do want to see your tits. But, you know, we're not going to get the same amount of views for that, because at the end of the day, there are blokes that are out there that are just going onto Twitch and being like, right, I want a goth girl with tits. And that's what they'll look for. You know, Amaranth, I'm sorry, but anyone that thinks Amaranth has talent is a fucking idiot. Amaranth literally got famous for sitting in a hot tub licking a microphone that had ears.
Yeah, well, arguably, I'd say that is her talent, is she's a businesswoman. No, she's a businesswoman. She knows what her audience wants, and she knows how to exploit that.
Well,
that's effectively, that's why Twitch is the way it is. Effectively, it's just it's dominated by people who know how to exploit an audience.
Yeah, and it's the same. Obviously, you have like within Ghosts of Tabor, for instance. That's something I'm trying to break into on Twitch myself. So, Ghosts of Tabor, there are 5 big streamers really on Ghosts of Tabor at the moment. Now, if you want to play a game with those 5 big streamers, you have to do one of 3 things. So they have where you have to be a tier 3 subscriber, and then you can play with them all day on their tier 3 subscription days. You have to gift 5 subs in their channel to play with them for a few set rounds that day. You have to become a VIP in their channel, which normally costs about 100,000 channel points. Or you have to donate a sum of money to play games with them. Or there's like the one I watch, his name's Meta. He does a thing where you can redeem on his channel for like 500 points, where you take in a certain item for him. So like he's got his own item in the game that's like a kunai. You can redeem 500 channel points and take that in with you, and you give that to him. And basically he will play a game with you and run you through. Now, Tabor, the people watching it are mainly younger people. Like, they're mainly squeakers. So they're all, oh my god, you're a streamer, can I play with you? And if you tell
sorry, that is brilliant.
Yeah, if you tell a fucking 14-year-old kid Oh yeah, well, if you spend 15 quid a month on my channel, you can play all day on Sunday with me. They're gonna go, well, if they get 20 quid a week pocket money, they're gonna go, well, that's only 1 week's pocket, but fuck it, I'm gonna do that. Now, you get 4 or 5 people doing that, where they then get to take it in turns all day playing with you. Of course, you make money. Like a couple of the big
That's also really dubious. Like,
yeah.
Especially if you're talking like 14, 15-year-old kids, like that's a bit weird.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Most of these are kids that are like 13 and upwards, and they will literally 13 to, I think the oldest tend to be about 16. And they are literally going to their mum and dad, Mum, can I have 25 quid so I can send 5 subs in this person's stream so that I can play with them? And yeah, the streamers do cool things like Meta, for instance. I played with him the other day, and like, I'm bad at Tabor. It's well worth the watch. I'm so bad at it. I lose all my gear pretty much every raid. He carried me through the raid, you know, gave me a good gun at the start of the raid, basically kept me alive the whole time. And that's what they do, is they make sure that you've got kit. They help you get more kit and stuff like that.
That's nice.
So, you know, it does help, and they also teach you. So like, I've learned a lot on Tabor from playing with some of these streamers. And like, because I've befriended them off stream as well, I play with some of them off stream. And like, Meta, for instance, literally has taught me so much about like leaning with your headset rather than like stepping to the side. Because obviously I'm so used to 2D gaming still, where I'm like that with the sticks when I'm playing. I forget to just lean my head around the side. And he's taught me things like that. And when you think about it, they are giving these kids a service of they're teaching them to be better at the game. It's like, okay, cool. But at the same time, some of them, these things that they're doing are very predatory. If you turn around and you're going to like you've got 60 people in your chat, 30 of them are going, I want to play with you. And you go, if you give 5 subs, you can join me on a raid. You stream for 8 hours. A raid is approximately 20 minutes. How many kids can you get to gift 5 subs then?
Yeah.
And they're doing this 5 days a week. Some of them even 6 days a week. They're making a fortune off of kids wanting to play games with them.
Yeah.
It's very intelligent, but at the same time, it is quite a predatory practice, especially since some of the streamers I've seen are really horrible to the kids as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few streamers where I have straight up blacklisted. They're banned from my channel. So they can never, like, even if I make it into like the partnership I want to get into on there, they will never be able to join me on my channel.
Yeah.
Because I don't like how they talk to their fans, because that's what they are at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. It's a weird world we live in at the moment.
Like, and I don't like the way they treat them. And it's the same as if I was going to play Dead by Daylight on stream and let people in. If I turn around and like, well, I'm only playing with people that subscribe, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, if someone's subscribed to your channel, they're less likely to come out with a racist remark or something because they don't want to waste money. So I understand that. And I'm fully behind no, you have to be a subscriber to come and join on community days, like community games and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
a difficult line, isn't it? Because there's no real hard, fast rule either way. It's sort of subjective.
But it's when you're saying you have to gift subs in the channel. Because what's to say that that kid isn't going to gift subs and then just because they're a squeaky little kid, they're annoying. You ain't gonna shoot, like the streamer isn't gonna shoot him in the head, which I've seen that happen. Literally loaded in, and this kid, he was a proper squeaker and he was a little chatterbox. He was excited to be on the stream because he'd been watching this streamer for like 6 months.
Yeah, so you would be, especially if you're a fan.
And he was like trying to show the streamer his gun and everything. The streamer just boom, shot him, kicked him from the group, like from the group chat. And I felt so sorry for the kid because I'm like, oh, that ain't worth it.
Because that's the thing, like especially if you're a fan, that's gonna fuck you up, isn't it? Because you just then that's gonna stick with you, you know. And then also that sort of thing in the long term as well, especially when you're a young kid. You're in your formative years. You're working out what you like, what you don't like. That's gonna give you major trust issues for the rest of your life. Like even something as seemingly insignificant as that. If you're a massive fan of someone and that's the way they treat you, it's gonna fuck with you.
Or it's gonna teach you that that's how you can treat others, because a lot of these kids have the aspirations themselves of becoming big streamers like Queso and that. So if they're then joining in on a streamer that they see as a big streamer and like really important, and that streamer's treating them like shit, then they're going to start thinking it's okay to treat people like shit.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I mean, I've sort of, on my personal chat, like Twitch, I now have the rule, anything that is clipped has to go instantly on TikTok. I've also started enforcing a no negativity rule.
Okay.
So,
how do you enforce that?
If someone comes in my chat and they're going, oh, my life is so hard, this has happened, blah, blah, I turn around to them and I say, I'm very sorry to hear that. Now isn't the time to discuss that, but if you'd want to join the Discord, I'm happy to talk about that with you later. I don't want to bring the vibe down of the stream. You know, it's nice, respectful. They have been told that. If they then, you know, their next message is, my grandpa's parrot's cat has just died, they'll get a timeout and be told, look, come on, you've been warned. Don't do this again, because otherwise we are going to have to ban you from the channel until you can grow up enough not to keep trying to bring the vibe down. Which I think that's a fair way to do it. And one of the reasons is because I struggle with my mental health. So if I'm surrounded by negativity, I'm going to end up more
absorb that.
Yeah. And I very much do. I'm very empathetic. So
I think that's healthy as well, because everyone is affected. Like I almost find for me it's often the opposite, but I think that's a healthy way to be, is when you realize that something affects you negatively, is there's nothing wrong with just going, I'm sorry, I don't want to receive this kind of information right now. Like I don't want to know about your struggles, because I think a lot of people take that to be, oh, you don't care, but it's important to set that kind of boundary, because otherwise you do end up in a bad mental state and then you'll end up spreading that same negativity. You know, it's just kind of like
exactly. Which on stream specifically, I want to be my best self. Now that doesn't mean I put on an act or anything. I don't. If I'm struggling, if I start to struggle while I'm streaming, I'll straight up turn around and be like, I'm not feeling so great right now, right? Someone tell me a joke to cheer me up or something. You know, I'll literally turn around and say, give me your worst dad joke. And that's because I want to bring my mood up, but I don't want to sit there faking and be like, hi guys, I'm Dave, because that's not me, and you can all tell if I'm putting it on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth it. It's the same as, like, obviously when you're really down and you're like, no, I'm not going to stream this weekend.
Yeah, I just avoid streaming completely. Yeah,
like,
because I think for me it's a longer thing. I don't tend to go down for a little while. It's like a low period generally.
Yeah. See, I'm quite weird because I'm always down. However, I have down that I can cope with and still be like this. or I have down where I'm just rock bottom. You know, I've been rock bottom for essentially since my birthday, right? But I've been pulling myself out of that because I don't believe in relying on others for it, for myself anyway. And because of that, I've gone, no, I'm going to pull myself up. Obviously, it has meant, like, my streaming. I took a break from streaming because I was like, if I carry on streaming, like, while I'm like this, I am going to end up crashing out on stream or something, and no one wants to see that. So
I don't know. I think I was gonna say, knowing how the internet works, I think that's probably, ironically and slightly depressingly, that would be the one video that gets you the most views.
True, I do tend to get that.
But
Monday
also that's not
got
what
me
you
the
want.
most views.
Sort of. Yeah. Oh well
Me
then.
screaming on Monday got me the most views I've ever had.
There you go.
I was playing
Yeah.
FNAF 4, screaming like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Right, shall we
That's
get
how the
on to
internet works.
Jackbox? Because
We should, shouldn't we?
We need to decide.
We've been
who
talking
is-
for 2 hours.
as usual. It's supposed to be a 2-hour podcast. It's never just 2 hours.
No.
Right, where did I put
Nothing
the
wrong
game
with talk.
capture? There we go. Right, Rob, the code is XCLB, so jackbox.tv. Nobody else join for now, please. This is just for me, Rob, and Meg. After we've done our round, then anyone is free to join. But first, we have to decide who is king/queen of the podcast.
I'm a king, bitch.
Rob's the
Bang.
queen.
Slay. I'm the queen.
Yeah, you're.
I'm a real queen. Everyone knows I'm a queen.
Right.
Slay.
I need to turn some volume on this so I can actually hear what's going on now.
No, what a shame.
Noel was saying I have no boobs now. I've got Noir's boobs. I am the queen.
I was really tempted to say prove it. I'm not gonna lie.
We were discussing this earlier. If I took my top off, would that get as bad?
Do
I
it,
have
do
enough
it,
boobies?
do it,
Nah, I'm
do
not
it.
gonna. The ducks are sufficient.
It's simple. You'll score points based on the percentage of people who prefer your answer. Have at it.
Don't forget, guys, you can all vote on the on our answers. Okay, we'll take your vote into account from the chat, Noah. But yeah, to vote, just go to jackbox.tv. The code is XCLB to join the audience.
I appreciate your joke, Nolt. A queen. Where's
Alright,
Brian
let's get
May?
to it.
We need. I like Brian
First,
May.
the title of Rob Schneider's memoir. Okay, vote for your favorite.
Schneider here, nor there. I enjoy that.
Yay!
Next up, the title of a Goosebumps book that was never published. Okay, vote.
Fuck's sake.
Coming up next, tip Take your large
What a
and
competition we got
beverage
right
bottle
now.
Yeah, all three of us.
and vote.
Fucking hell. I love how Rob's name is always like not Rob or unrob
And
or
it-
something like that.
I'm disassociating badly in these streams. That's a help. Or Rob's disassociating badly.
Down.
Round 2 is pulling into the station with
Damn.
double the points and bonuses.
Damn. Begin slapping the bass like it's a stepchild.
That was quite an easy round for me. The answers, they be flowing.
Oh.
Right,
Time
let's
to
see what
share.
we got.
First up, if you pull your uncle's finger, he farts. If you push it, he blank. Okay, use your device. Pick your favorite.
Oh god.
If you pull his finger, he farts. If you push it, he comes or sharts. Damn it.
It rhymes. It rhymes.
It sounded
Next
better.
on deck, a
There you go. It's the power of rhyme.
is too blank.
Excellent.
Ready, set, vote.
For fuck's sake.
I love how people just had the same wavelength on that one. They do love sex a lot, a little
do.
too
Next
much.
prompt. Title of an HGTV show for bees. Vote on your devices.
Oh, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that one. They're both good, actually.
They were both good.
Honey, I pollinated the spelling's off,
The
but
end
yeah.
of round 2.
I
Let's see
can't
what
spell, okay?
Well, learn to spell.
But I enjoyed the joke.
And now round 3, the last lash. This time you'll all be answering the same prompt. Invent the full phrase that goes with this acronym.
Oh no, what's that?
You know what? I'm surprised I didn't think of it.
I've got a feeling me and Meg may have the same idea.
Why?
Because we're very similar in sense of humour, obviously.
Well, the thing is, Dave, I'm not as funny as you, so I really doubt.
Oh, I'm funny looking.
Oh, fuck
Come
off.
Rob.
I'm behind. Oh shit, 8 seconds. Oh, there's.
Oh.
I thought there was more questions.
Each of you has a gold medal
thought-
to
I thought it was
award
another
your
question, I was
favorite book.
panicking.
Make your picks now.
They're all good. They're all good. Oh god.
The suspense is killing me. Let's see who got those medals. Let's translate that into points.
Oh.
Big old pussy. I don't know why I can't hit.
Yeah.
I have to hear that in like a sort of
I
Texan
got that
accent.
big old
Beginning, you
pussy.
guys. Let's go to
Big
the
old
scores.
pussy.
No,
I
say big
actually
old
just
pussy for us.
It's just a large. It's a large cat. A big
All
old
hail your king.
King David. Well done, Dave. Queen Dave. No, I'm the queen.
Yeah, you're the queen.
I'm the queen.
Dave's the king, you're the queen. And
Oh my.
I'm the weird maid that, you know.
Have I pressed the wrong button or yeah, I pressed the wrong button.
Meg,
Hang
you are
on.
made for Levi.
Hi, I'm Schmitty, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
I mean,
Fuck you, Schmitty. Now, guys.
Fuck you.
possibly.
Fuck you, boy.
I mean, I've
Disconnect
been loyal to Levi for like
for centuries.
She loves Levi. more
8
than she
years,
loves me.
although absolute bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just very loyal.
um,
Although I do have like 50 other Sims, but like I'm not. I
She's
love
loyal to all 50 of her Sims, including Dave.
so donations and subscriptions won't bits won't work on here because essentially we do not have
Affiliate?
affiliate because we're broke. The donation should work. So it might not have worked to start with purely because essentially we haven't streamed in so long. Streamlabs got a bit confused by like us. But yeah, it is now working again.
How does the donate work on this? I've not actually seen the function.
So it's through Streamlabs.
There we go.
There we go. That was I didn't even make that come
That was-
up. That just
Robot knew. Streamlabs knew. It's
the
just like
AI
I know
is
what they want.
taking over.
Yeah. Hey, oh. So there it is. There's the link.
Yeah.
Just the tip of the link. Just the tasty tip.
Right. If you guys want to join, I can't type it in that box. You really silly person, Dave.
Nightmare.
Nightmare, love you.
Night. Take care. Good night, people.
But yeah, the code is XAMB. So go to jackbox.tv and your code is XAMB. Oh, for fuck's sake. The webcam's all died. Hang on.
Everything is darkness. Dementia, Ravenway.
There we go. I don't know why it does that occasionally, but it does.
Thanks, Nox. Thanks for the donation.
Hey, thanks very much, Noct. Right,
May you
I
join?
need to enter
Absolutely.
this.
You're welcome to join. So you just go to jacksbox.tv and then type in that code.
B.
Jiggle your tits now for that money. There we go. I'm jiggling them. Are you not entertained?
So it's because of that it was playing up.
They may not have seen me jiggling my tits because it went dark. I'm not sure.
Oh no.
I know. Tragic.
Do it
You'll just
again,
have to
that
wait till
game.
you have to wait till the next episode.
There we
Spoiler
go.
alert.
I'll jiggle mine for the money.
Noir missed it for the camera said, "Oh, we're getting banned now. That's just 2 cents."
There we go.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That was basically how Noir used to do the Babadook ones.
Yeah, excellent.
Can't believe
What
you
Noir
don't do that
came.
for me.
Noir came, she saw, and she conquered.
She came, she saw, she got the crop out.
She came, she saw, she conked.
Oh my.
Where's not when you need him? Yeah, instead George took a
Schmitty here
phrase
with
get
your
that
daily
goodbye.
dose of
Well, hang on,
Flash
am I supposed to be doing
News as
something here?
directed.
I insert.
Take a good look at your fellow players.
Moo.
These are your enemies.
Getting
Crush
those
them.
udders out. for the lads.
That's utterly
Round one,
disgraceful.
you're about to see 2
It is.
prompts on your device. Type something
Utterly
hilarious or
disgusting.
not for each one. Then everyone gets to decide if your answer is better than someone else's.
Of course, my
Ooh.
answer's going to be the
You score
best.
based on the percentage of players who like your answer.
Like no one
Plus,
ever
there are
was.
winners bonuses.
Who's gonna
Like
be the
no
best
one
ever?
ever was. Me
Dun,
again.
dun, dun.
No. I have no idea, so I went with my safety fucking bullshit.
Safety. Safety
But
quick.
not even with the. I didn't even press the safety one. I just went, fuck it, whatever comes.
Yeah. Spontaneous Meg
Wait for
thoughts. The
late, but,
movie.
you know.
Just Levi. Just the word
You got
Levi.
40
It's not
seconds.
even Levi.
But you've probably got about 30 seconds. Maybe 20. Delay.
I don't even, you know, no.
You're
Hurry
right.
up,
Meg.
knocked.
That excellent.
Clock's running out. Think fast or you
14,
could be-
13. There we go. You have to just count down for some people.
All right, let's
Did
go.
someone just shart then?
What
What was that?
That was snow.
Oh. Sounded like a very, very wet shart.
Those are very similar answers.
Mm.
I know which one was knocked.
What, from the wording? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad because he basically said the same thing. I said mine in just very sort of simple kind of.
I always go
English.
for the more simple one. Because I'm simple.
He did the intellectual version and got punished for being clever.
Oh. Oh, that's harsh.
Oh, yeah, fuck it. I know what I'm doing.
Oh, that's mean.
Not. Not. What do you mean that's fucked up?
That is fucked up.
No.
Knocked was so
Nom, nom,
shocked
nom.
he didn't even vote on it.
I mean, that's justified. That is justified. I can see his reaction in my head now as well. I could just
Yeah, Knox, don't forget you got to vote on people's answers, so keep your phone looking.
Oh dear. Oh, why is that tickled me?
Oh, there was
Fucking
one with Kentucky
dogging.
Fried Almond.
Oh my god, I'm actually doing bad.
I thought I was laughing. I was
This is
actually
rigged
laughing at
against
your
me.
answer, Dave. It was the children disappearing that made me chuckle. Just
You
'cause
know
it's
there's
Mr.
something
Rogers.
wrong about Mr. Rogers.
He's too wholesome. there's
No
something wrong with
Nocturne, you're supposed to swallow, God.
No idea who wrote that. No idea. Thanks, Dave.
You get a pity one.
Round one.
Oh.
Yes, you
in
are.
the lead.
You are the bottomiest of bottoms that ever did bottom.
it. Great show, by the way.
Amazing show. That's something we should watch.
The
Round
best,
two is a
the
bonus, and
greatest.
all points are doubled. Take
Bottom.
Round one.
Okay, what we do?
I loved Barton, right? I can't remember both the characters' names. I just remember Eddie. Eddie was fucking hilarious. I know, like, Rick Mayall's character, he was funny as well.
Yeah, they're both great. I think it's just the dynamic they had.
A show called Bottom.
Number 1 on the list.
It was a very
All about-
British.
Starring an otter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddie and Richie.
Okay, pick your favorite
That's
and
it.
vote.
That's a terrible pun. I love it.
And yet, that's
Sorry?
probably why it'll win.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly why it won.
Yeah.
And next.
How
Steve's a
to
very
win.
niche rep. Steve will only make sense for anyone who follows me on Facebook.
I just follow you around your house.
You do, yeah. Like a bad salesman.
Why would a salesman follow around your house unless, of course, they're trying to sell you like a sex toy?
Yeah, well, Dildo Baggins is very persistent.
Dildo Baggins is very
Up
persistent.
next, something you wouldn't expect to hear from a Subway sandwich artist. Get to voting.
Okay, that one got me. True, they don't ask, would you like come with that? You are getting come with it,
Next
whether you
vote.
like it or not.
Yeah.
Something you might overhear in a completely
Only the
normal
finest.
car. Vote on your devices.
Oh,
Oh god.
someone's ball's going honk.
That's all for round 2. Light up that scoreboard.
I don't know what else to put, honestly. I was thinking of trying to make another fucking
I
crispy
can't believe
joke,
I'm in
but-
last.
Yeah,
I've been
maybe.
overtaken by Meg. Meg
Oh,
with
no.
the clown
That's
balls.
right, it's round 3, the last lash. Look alive because you're all getting the
I think
same
Meg's
this is our
actually
own
doing
crap
good.
it
Meg
Yeah,
is,
it's the first
is
time I
crushing.
actually do good, so you know, I think I deserve my
Think
own
up a
crown.
phrase that goes
I'm
with
never
the minute.
a bottom. I might be at the bottom, but I'm never a bottom. I'm going to hell.
I didn't know what else to fucking put, honestly. I'm really brain dead. The fact I'm even at the top right now is a miracle.
Come on, knocked. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9,
Suck.
8,
Hey,
7,
dick.
6,
Almond
5.
is
4.
crispy.
You evil
All right, we're
woman.
ready. In the coming
Crispy
rounds,
chicken.
give out 1 gold and 1 silver medal to your top 2 quips. Make them count.
I know which one Meg's is.
Do you? Do you though?
Yep.
I don't know.
And one of them is completely doesn't work. I'm sorry to say.
Well, someone didn't have a
I'm
brain.
trying to work out which one you mean.
Oh god! No, no!
I mean, is this just a statement, or are you contributing to the game? I'm gonna side with you and go. That was you contributing.
Oh, it's just Jimmy Savile's fucking.
Silver. And finally, gold. All right, let's turn that into cold hard points.
How did I win
That's
that?
all.
How
Now
the
for
fuck? Did
final scores.
Because you got
Everyone-
silver and golds.
All right. Meg's still
Well
trumping it
done,
though.
Meg.
Meg has won. Meg has won.
Meg
Do I
did
get my
indeed
own
win.
crown for like not being shit?
Sure.
You can wear Levi on your head, and then there's your crown.
You know
Yeah.
what? True. Let me.
Right. Who have we
There
got
he
to
is.
raid?
Look, there's victory Meg crown. There it is.
But yeah,
Don't
I think
fit.
that's where we'll call it, as we have gone 20 minutes over.
Yeah.
Again.
Thanks not for joining. That was
Thank you for joining, Noct. But yeah, we need someone to raid, to be honest.
Yeah. Who should we raid? Anyone got any suggestions for people to raid?
But
It's only the finest.
do you know what?
Great
Let's
seeing
have.
you. Love you, bro. It's good to see you, man.
See, I don't like the music channels because they're annoying. Thing is, annoyingly, the recommended for our channel is linked up to like the recommended in my channel as well.
Hmm.
So
Oh, Soviet Womble's just stopped. He was streaming stuff. He's always a good laugh.
he is a good laugh. Oh, I know. There's someone on here from your sister's community, actually.
Go raid them.
Yeah.
Raid these nuts. Or something.
Rate these
Something to that extent.
nuts.
I'd rate them a good solid 9 out of 10. Oh, you said raid. I see. You didn't say rate. Sorry.
Right. Thanks everyone for coming along. Make sure to join the raid and say hi from us.
Take care. Bye.
Rawr.
R. R.